Welcome.
Bienvenidos, bienvenidas.
Willkommen.
Ahla wa sahla to breakfast together.
Welcome.
Welcome on board.
DJ Dimi.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Good morning.
Welcome from across the world, all around the world. We have the most of the people are in Europe, but we have another person that you
I'm in Asia,
missed.
sorry.
Yes. Okay. Right. We have two people in Europe.
One person is technically in Asia.
One technically in Asia, and we have Telemachos that everybody missed.
Otro
Oh,
continente.
Colombian.
I miss you guys too. Here from across the ocean.
Colombia.
Here it is actually
Dilema
breakfast
Jose
time.
Escobar. Well, here as well.
That's great. This is exactly what we're aiming for.
Oh, that's true. Oh, yeah, sorry. I forgot, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't know. Are you saying that it's not breakfast here? I just finished my coffee. My morning coffee.
I'm having tea with milk.
Dilemma here. Please, don't uncover our biggest secret that nobody knows.
No. Of course. I mean, but that's what I said. I just had breakfast.
Okay. Yeah, now I got it.
Good for you. What did you have for breakfast?
A smoothie bowl.
A smoothie bowl. Oh, nice.
A smoothie bowl with tropical fruit.
Wow.
That makes me think, like, if you, now that you're speaking Spanish there, I know your Spanish is pretty good, but maybe you have made a mistake one day and you ordered something wrong, and you got something that you didn't expect it. Have you had that experience, Dilemma here?
Many mistakes, many happy little accidents.
Okay, I also done a lot of mistakes in my life.
Mistakes were
Are there
made.
any mistakes you regret? Let's talk about that.
No, I mean,
That's
actually,
in the next episode.
actually, I think I kind of lost my fear of speaking Spanish now that I'm here, because I'm speaking Spanish all the time, and it's kind
Did
of.
you have any fear of speaking Spanish?
I mean, probably in the beginning, or when I learned that the subjuntivo exists, because then you realize that half the things you were saying were wrong. And I still have a fear with that. Like, whenever I have to use a subjuntivo, I kind of like panic, and I'm like, okay, what is the ending of the verb? Okay, so I have to switch it up. Okay, so you have to go through this process, which is very annoying. But you do get used to it. I mean, I think that this immersion helps. That I think that if you speak all the time and you're used to also to being in an environment where there are many non-natives as well, so you have some natives and some non-natives, and everyone speaks in Spanish. So you have the proper Spanish from the natives, and you also see that I'm not the only one making mistakes. There are other people struggling and making mistakes and learning. So I think it's an ideal environment to learn a language and not be afraid of your mistakes, because everyone is doing the same ones, or even more maybe.
Okay, one thing that you can do is like to hear what the natives say, and just like in the end, like I'm doing this in German, and like der die das, like in German they have this like weird articles, not weird articles, but they have the articles and they have the accusative, dative, and all the cases, and then you have to say der, den, die, them. So you say
That's-
like them, yeah. You say like something that sounds like n or m or air, and then you just like say the word, and it works most of the time because you try to also make it.
You just
speak
mumble.
fast. You just mumble, exactly.
This is my method, Dimi. You stole it.
So
I think it's universal though, because I mumble all the time. That's all I got, guys. Mumbling is the way to go. First you
Yeah.
mumble, then you get to it, and then you kind of sort it out.
It's called strategic mumbling,
Exactly.
This is, by the way, the official breakfast together method. So please, if anyone else uses this, just so you know that we have a patent on this. So so don't
Patent
copy
is
us.
called mumble to fluency.
Exactly. A new course coming soon.
Shh, don't talk
So,
about it
and,
yet.
and if anybody's wondering We are talking about mistakes in languages today. Yes, yes,
because
hectic
no one is
beginnings.
perfect, and especially when it comes to learning languages, this is actually how you learn. It's impossible to learn a language without making a mistake. And here, let me I will allow myself to quote Benny Lewis, the renowned polyglot, loved by many. Benny Lewis used to say, my goal per day is to make 100 mistakes at least. And the point of it, I don't think that he was counting any, but the point is to make as many mistakes as possible. But sometimes it can be really awkward and embarrassing. So have you guys had any experiences that when you made some really like funny or embarrassing mistake in public? And yeah, how was it?
I would be surprised if nobody had those type of experiences. To be frank, I think I was already presenting this type of mistake all the time because this is the classic from my mistakes. In Turkish, it's very important to differentiate between the sound e and the sound u. And for the Slavic speaker, this doesn't really seem like anything difficult because in Belarusian language, for example, or Ukrainian or Polish, those both sounds are present and they're commonly
Yeah,
used.
exactly.
However, the combination with consonants in Turkish makes it tricky. So in the beginning, when I was trying to produce the sounds that sound like Turkish, I was often mistaken U for E. And one time, my student in front of the whole entire other classes during the break, when I was working as an English teacher, there were tons of people in the corridor, teachers and students, and she came to me and she's like, teacher in Turkish, so like just to practice Turkish because I knew like maybe a couple of words. She asked me Turkish how was my weekend. And I just wanted to say that it was boring. And boring is in Turkish is sıkıcı. Okay, that's an adjective. But if you put e on all the sounds in there, I'm not gonna pronounce it here because I don't want our episode to be quoted for
Censored.
some kind of exactly. But yeah, that the other word which I pronounced actually because I didn't say I just said e in all those vowels and syllables, and uh, it came out that I was doing something completely else. Just so you know, it's a curse word, and it is a person that does some sexual intercourse for
Right.
quite a long time. So this is a bad thing to say. That was very embarrassing because obviously I said it loud, confident. You know, this is how you need to speak when you don't speak the language. You're still confident, and everybody was just looking at me because they've heard this cursing word, and I just left it off. If you ask me, that's it. What are you
Yeah,
gonna
but
do?
but then she was like, "No way, your weekend was boring. You were doing that fun stuff."
She was like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh my, probably something went wrong here." Because what an easy word.
That
Right.
reminds me another moment. Like I'm not gonna talk about the one that embarrassing moment that I had, but I remember studying Portuguese, and one of the things was like when they were like teaching you the bread word, which is pau. They said like there is like another one, which is the
Right.
original translation I think is stick or wood, but also
Correct.
means the thing that the man has, so the penis. And he said like it's like pow, and I don't know even know if I say the pronunciation, I should pronounce it correctly. It's pow and pow.
Yes.
So it was one of the things like please don't say that. That reminds me the same story that similar story that Asia had. So I never had this I never did this mistake in the language in Portuguese, but that just reminded me of this. But the another story that I have to share with you, follow friends and listeners, is the I was in a place that they sell sandwiches and breads in Germany, and coming like from the like I was not speaking so well German at the time, and there was like a bread with a like an egg, In Greek, the a fried egg, it was like a bread with a fried egg. And in Greek, we call it mati, which means like an eye, I guess, because of the how the eye looks like.
The same as in Russian.
Aha, okay. And then I asked the woman, ich hätte gerne dieses Brot mit die Augen. And she looked at me. Augen is like eyes in German. And she looked at me and said like Augen. And I was like, sorry, with the eye. And it was the only one like really horrible mistake that I made. I was like laughing, and people were laughing about that. But it was, I mean, I was in the beginning of my language learning in German, and I think she understood it, and she also made a bit of fun. So yeah,
Give me the bread with the eye.
Did it
yeah.
did it affect your learning at all?
No, I don't
Did you
think
get
so. I don't
like
think so.
what was your reaction?
I think when people get not get they don't get like aggressive or like change maybe to switch to English, and they are like they keep it funny, then it's fine. Another time again with German, I think I pronounced Buddha like differently, and the guy he kept repeating the word in order to mock me or something like that. And at that time, I got aggressive but angry with the guy. I didn't say anything, but I remember that I said like I'm not gonna go again to the store, because then yeah, it's like kind of mocking. When they mock you,
Mm.
I don't like that. But when they like keep like joke and they continue joking, then that's fine. So yeah, in the other one, I think it hit me hard that the guy was mocking me and making fun of me because I couldn't pronounce one word. And
My strategy is to mock myself before they mock me.
Oh yeah,
No,
that's a
but
good
like
one.
I consider myself, at least in my own eyes, a self ironic person. So I often joke about, for example, I say to someone, this is not related to languages, but I often say to people, and that person was really talkative, more talkative than me. I know, hard to imagine, you know, because everyone knows I speak a lot. But speaking of mistakes, I mean, I've been doing this, I mean, language learning for many, many years. And I speak many languages, so you can imagine the amount of funny mistakes that I have. But in order for this
I
episode to
mean,
end at some
let's
point,
be honest, Irena. Everybody was expecting your stories, right? Like they were like, I'm sure that they're writing right now. We want Irena stories.
thank you so much. The funniest story, I think many people know this, maybe even I said it in one of the episodes, was when I was just learning Spanish in the beginning and I already spoke Portuguese, so it was a huge mix in my head. Spoiler, it still is, it hasn't gone anywhere. And now I also mix it with Italian, yay. So I wanted to say that I went to an Indonesian restaurant actually in Berlin, and I drank avocado juice. So I said suco instead of sumo or jugo. Suco is in Portuguese. And then I said the abogado, which also
Avocado, yeah.
resembles somehow Portuguese, but it is aguacate in Spanish. So I said the lawyer juice, a juice made of a poor lawyer, and then I was practicing on italki. This is not paid advertisement, and we just laughed it off. My teacher and we just laughed it off, and it's funny. It's like
That's a
those
funny one.
what you were saying also, Dimi. There are mistakes like embarazada,
Yeah.
or which means those are the false friends. So embarazada in Spanish means pregnant, and embarrassed in English. And avergonzada is the word. People quite often confuse that. I have another one. When I went to Cape Verde with my ex, he doesn't speak Portuguese, but I sent him to the reception and I said, "Can you please pick the hair dryer?" And the hair dryer in Portuguese is secador. I said to him, okay, you go and say just one word, secador. Shouldn't be difficult. He came back with the hair dryer, and I was like, okay, mission accomplished. And he said, the girl at the reception was laughing at me so much. I said, how come? What did you say? He said, I don't know. I said, pecador. and, and pecador means the sinner. So he was like, could you please give me the sinner? But the S and P, like, I guess she figured it out. But I mean, I love this personally. I love making mistakes because it first of all, you remember, I'm never confusing lawyer and avocado ever again.
Right.
And it's a funny story that you can tell to people, and I love telling stories, as you said, Dimi. And yeah, this is, I think, like, this is how you learn, right? Unless there are situations of mockery, as you described, Dimi, because this is really, really not okay, because you're investing your time and effort in learning their language. So
I
not
mean,
cool.
yeah, I mean, think about it, right? Like if you like not combine, but like connect a funny moment with a mistake, then of course you're gonna go back and you will remember, and it's gonna be like no
Exactly.
hurting your feelings or something like that. But when it's like mocking, then it's of course you're gonna try your brain like will try to not to forget like this experience and not remember. So or I mean, the other solution or the other outcome could be that you get like super motivated and you learn the language and like in a really high level and you never do mistakes. But I think to everybody there, when somebody is speaking your language and they're trying not to mock them, it's the worst thing that you can do.
Yes.
Try
Please.
to correct them after if they want, but try not to mock them. That's the worst way.
I also feel like it's important for, like, for example, I always prioritize fluency over correctness. It may not be correct for everyone, it may not work for everybody, but for me, it works. I speak a lot, I speak quite fast. And when, especially, the momentum is ongoing and you feel like you're trying to push out the words in the language which you usually do not use, then the fluency is the core for me. And I guess
Yes.
sometimes I did have experience that people were very eager to correct me even though I was just saying one or two sentences, and my point was definitely not to be corrected or to be constantly staggered and sort of
Mm.
say things right. But the person that was talking to me did not read the room. They didn't read that I was actually into saying something rather than being corrected, and I
Mhm.
didn't ask for correction. And in those type of situations, you got to be resistant towards that sort of a helping kind of mentality.
Mhm.
Because personally, for me, I can't say, hey, just don't correct me, can I just talk? Because I understand that this is also a very valuable feedback which you should be
Mhm.
sort of grabbing and so on. At the same time, I very often end up just not talking after some time because I feel dismotivated and I
Yeah,
feel like,
exactly.
Mhm.
okay, then you know what? Clearly, in every sentence, I'm making like 3 to 4 mistakes. But the idea is that despite making those mistakes, the content of what you're saying is still easy
Right?
to understand from the whole
Yeah.
idea, right? So that depends on this, obviously, on on the conversation itself. But I just feel like a lot of times fluency is the goal, and you're just trying to get going. And if, let's say, the speaker is asking you specifically to correct him or her, maybe that's the
Hmm.
point where you can feel free to do it. But I don't really personally recommend to correct, because you just can feel dismotivated. I mean, it happened to me, so
Asa,
yeah.
my God, like spot on. Because I have to add here, I agree with absolutely with everything you said. But for example, at the gathering, at the event, which we all love, like sometimes I have like some friends that I talk to, and I talk to them in their language or like in a foreign language that they speak better. And like, we're there like hanging out, and I get corrected. And then like sometimes, as you say, it interrupts the flow. And then like I'm the same as you. I usually don't tell the person like, please don't correct me. But here is the message to out to all of you listening now. Unless it has been agreed beforehand, please don't correct. Really. And guilty as charged. I used to be like that a long time ago. But as I say, saying, read the room. I only correct, only exclusively when we agreed about that, or when the mistake is really, really like, big and obvious, or it's something like funny, or it can cause trouble to the person. But I never correct. And also, do not, please, please do not correct in front of others. This is humiliating. Or like, you can say like, hey, like, you said like, if it's really like, burning inside you, like, take the person aside or something. When you are in a group of people, which is more than two of you, don't correct. Just don't do it. I understand that the intentions are good. but it just doesn't feel well. And fluency is the key, and being fluent, many people mistake that being fluent is not speaking mistake free. No, even now while recording this podcast we made probably many mistakes. None of us is a native English speaker. Who cares? Who cares? No.
I mean, this normally the correction or the mocking happens with people that have native level. I think, at
Hmm.
least in my experience, maybe happens also between polyglots, and that's really bad because when you're learning a language, you know that like the struggles, like the endless days that you learn and you try to improve your pronunciation or your like your grammar. So you shouldn't do that. But I experienced this with mostly with native speakers. Or so
Hmm.
yeah. Oh, it seems that we lost Dilemma Host. Probably he's lost somewhere in the jungle.
The
The
jungle took
jungle
him,
monster took him.
Yeah,
for
jungle
sure.
monster took him. We hope he's good. Send him good vibes, people.
I don't know. Maybe that monster doesn't like when people make mistakes. And
Oh, yeah, yeah. That would be
oops.
that could be the mocking.
Yeah, the
uh,
mocking Colombian monster, the
exactly.
famous one. But
Yeah.
Dimi, what's your take on correction? Do you like being corrected? Like, how is it for you? When do you feel it's appropriate?
I had a similar experience to you, to both of you. In a polyglot event, there was one person kept correcting me, and I got so frustrated. I didn't say anything because I'm type. I don't know. I didn't at the time didn't want to say anything, but this person kept correcting me, and the flow of the conversation was not moving because
Mm.
this person was trying to find every mistake that I was doing and was correcting me and stopping and correcting me and stopping and correcting me, and first putting me also in a difficult situation because I feel like also okay, like every second sentence I make a mistake. So I don't like it. No, I like it. I like and I will double that when there is something that can make like bring me in an uncomfortable situation, or it's something super like something important. Then I would like to later don't stop the conversation, don't interrupt, but later say, hey, I need to this and this and this. Like I can recommend you to, I don't know, read this grammar or like say it this way, whatever. But don't interrupt the conversation. And I have actually experienced this with a friend speaker in the company that I work for. He always, and I really appreciate that, Paul. Thank you, Paul. Merci beaucoup. He always like I finish the phrase and then he corrects me if he feels that I need to be corrected, or if he can see my face that is like, oh, what is going on, what is this word and everything. So I really appreciate that, and that's what I am trying to do as well.
That's so sweet. That's really nice. Another
Yeah.
thing that really annoys me, what happens is that when you make a lot of mistakes, but you're really trying and the flow seems to be good, sometimes people switch into English. That is a mortal sin, people. That is a sin. don't don't do that. That happened to me so many times in Arabic. For example, in Arabic there are three ha sounds. So there is ha, there is ha, and then there is kh. And probably I made a mistake pronouncing that. Who cares? Again. So then in Arabic, like you make a slight pronunciation mistake and they perfectly understand you, and then they immediately switch into English because they think that Arabic is a completely impossible language to learn for non-native speakers. And like I've experienced, like the struggle is real, so like another tip to anyone helping anyone else learning the language, please, like unless it's really bad, let the person struggle, you know because I
I
think that they
also,
would really appreciate it.
yeah,
Hmm.
sorry to jump in. It's clear the connection is not good. I also wanted to add that to talk about what Dimi was mentioning about the gathering and conferences, language conferences. The good part about this type of events actually is that it's so easy to find another partner to talk to, and there are definitely less controlled environments where you can make
Mm.
mistakes and just get a flow with people. That's why I strongly recommend anyone who is learning the language and is lacking sort of a community or group to chat to,
Exposure.
Yes, conferences are and gatherings are language events in general are great place to do that because of the amount of people that are interested in the same topic. So while you can find someone who feels like their mission is to like be a teacher to everyone and like sort of point out those mistakes, it's just so easy to get out of the conversation and go to someone else because there's so many
Hmm.
people. And if you really want to be corrected, you can always join the language tables that are specifically dedicated to
Yes.
practicing the language in a very controlled environment where a couple of native speakers of people that on a with a very high level of language can help you out, support you, and this is where you can understand that okay, you're going to be corrected. But if you consider coming to the language event and you are afraid of making mistakes and so on, make sure that these are specifically the events where you're going to feel super nice and free because you will always find someone who will just get your flow. You will find people like you, and you will definitely connect with someone, and you're just going to practice without any stress.
Thanks for clarifying that, because yeah, I didn't want to like people to think that the language events are like that. Like
Hmm.
that's like probably the like 1% or 0.1% of people doing that. It never happened in the past. So
But Asa, really, what great words! As always, I couldn't agree more. But well, this is why we are friends and recording a podcast together because we agree. And just to wrap it up, there is one last question I have for you. Do you have any mistakes that you guys repeatedly make? And in any language possible, I can start with myself. I used to make this mistake, not anymore, because after I made it for 50 times I got it. So it's the funny thing is that it's in English, and I used to say I feel myself. Now it's really embarrassing because in almost all the languages that I speak, it's a reflexive verb. In Russian, it's a reflexive verb. In Spanish, it's a reflexive verb. In Norwegian, the list goes on. But not in English. So people do not make this mistake. I feel myself has a slightly sexual meaning in English, and you can just say, I feel sad, I feel happy. Do not feel yourself, at least not in public.
I do a lot. I can say so. I can pick one, and that would be in Spanish. My partner always like makes fun of this. It's I say instead of humo, I say fumo. So she always makes fun of me when I mention that. But I definitely make more mistakes, of course, and a lot of times I'm mixing up words that I know are similar in all the languages I speak. So yeah, don't be afraid to do that.
Yeah.
What about you, Asia?
Yeah, I guess I have this notorious thing in Turkish that I kind of invent the words about this one regulation that they have. So they use, for example, binmek is to get on something. For example, to the train, trene binmek, but bindirmek. So that dir particle in the middle means that someone else is getting you on that train. For example, your mom has put you on that train, right? And you go somewhere, or your partner,
Hmm.
whatever. So I tend to put those particles because it kind of is used to any verb, but not exactly any verb. And since I don't know the rule, and I'm just trying to feel and to sort of sort out the language by feeling rather than by studying. But again, it goes combined, but still, many times I'm just trying to sort of guess it. And a lot of times it doesn't work. And I say something totally nonsense. And you kind of can create that verb, but it wouldn't make sense. I mean, it would be understandable, but it wouldn't exist. I just keep making that mistake. And I guess those little particles within the verbs are still sort of confusing because there are many particles that goes in, and they are all like, for me it makes sense because if someone made me do something, I can just put
Hmm.
that thing there and boom, it's ready. But no, it's not that easy. Yeah, I guess that one is like the most common. But I again, just to support what you guys were saying, mistakes are part of the learning process. You
Mhm.
can't be doing without them. And definitely, definitely prioritize fluency over making mistakes and being perfect, because nobody speaks perfect. And listen to the native speakers, you will hear people that are not able to speak
Exactly.
properly, but they still do.
I make
And the
mistakes in
most,
Russian all the
yeah,
time.
of
All the
course,
time,
this
you
is
know?
human normal thing. So
Mhm.
prioritize fluency, prioritize your just personal strength of actually producing different sounds than your own native language, and you will see how much benefit you can get from it. Don't think about being perfect, because perfect doesn't exist.
Amazing words. You know, when I have a Spanish language partner, we talk every week, and when I make a mistake, and he says that word doesn't exist, and I said, "Well, congratulations, you learned a new word in Spanish because now it does." So, shout out to you, Inigo. Thank you for listening to my sometimes gibberish Spanish and helping me out. What a great language partner I have, who is learning English, by the way. So he has to listen to this episode because I mentioned him. Uh, so thank you so much for your attention and patience, our dear listeners, for listening to us making mistakes when it comes to quality or facts or any language mistakes. Just want to say thank you. And on this happy note, we're wrapping up, and we will see you in the next episode.
Exactly.
Thank you, everybody, and have a great Sunday evening and morning. And let's pray for Dilemma
And
Host that everything.
afternoon.
And afternoon.
Afternoon has to be great as well.
Yeah, and let's pray for Dilemma Host that everything is fine.
Yeah, good luck in the jungle.
Good luck in the jungle.
Thoughts and prayers and beijinhos. Do
Beijinhos.
breakfast together.
Bye bye.
Ciao, ciao.